viewers. Here is dear teacher
Hi
Fikret.
guys.
And I decided to exchange some information and experience with this lovely teacher.
Thank you.
So
Thrilled to be here.
thank you very much. As you know, we always are complaining about the motivation. I mean, as a sort of English learner, the students most probably, how do we, or how can we, give them some motivation, provide them some good motivation to just improve themselves and learn English?
Well, of course, firstly, the teachers are very important on that subject, yeah? But I don't really believe that you can give someone motivation, yeah? As teachers, we can be their light. Yeah, of course, we can show them where to find, we can show them how to find their own motivation.
Yes.
It should be coming from their inside, yeah? You can't force someone to learn English.
That's right.
So, of course, this is the main thing, the lack of motivation. If you feel yourself unmotivated, if you don't feel the motivation that you are looking for, then you have to find it somewhere. If you should be able to find the things that you are interested in, you know? Let's say you have a reading on you, right? You have a reading in front of you, you have to read it, you have to, of course, answer some questions, the typical things. And the reading is about, let's say, sports, yeah? Let's say it's about football. And you're not interested in football, you don't like football, then of course you can't find the motivation, even if to read that particular text. Let's say you are interested in dancing, you like dancing, huh? Then just find a text about dancing.
Wonderful.
Are you listening something? Do you think you can learn English through English songs? Yeah, of course it can help, but you wouldn't listen to pop music if you liked rap music, right?
Exactly.
If you like rap music, then you should listen to rap music in English. Just like that, you should find what you are interested in, what you are willing to do. English isn't something you have to learn.
Exactly.
It's something you want to learn, yeah? That's why you have to want, you have to like everything about it.
Perfect. So can I ask this question? What is the motivation between young learners and adults? What are your, how can I say, popular, common challenge that you have, when you're facing with a young learner as well as the adult person?
Yes. You mean like in common?
Yes, in common.
In common, they both get bored. They both really get bored.
But why?
I think it's because the material, what you're losing, what you're using, isn't always the same and isn't always good for everyone. Yeah. Let's say you have a class, and of course you will have different people with different needs, with different willings, with
personalities.
Yeah, it's hard to keep them all motivated. It's hard to get them all into the lesson. So games would be really effective on that matter. I mean, as people, we all think that children, the young learners, really like games, right?
Exactly.
That's kind of wrong, because that they play games all the time. But the adults never play games. They are really hungry for the games. When you play games for adults, you see that they are really willing to join. They want to participate into the game.
Exactly.
Let's say that you have 4 lessons with the group, right? You have 4 lessons of class. And of course they will start getting bored.
Yeah.
So, bam, when you see they're bored, just play a game, just invent a game. There are lots
Thousands
of, in the internet. Maybe you don't know how to speak English, but of course you know how to use Google, right? Just type in English, fun, game. You will find yourself for you, definitely.
Exactly. So next question is, what are the possible problems of students while they are studying or learning?
Yes.
The possible problems that any sort of student might have, might face actually.
Of course, the lack of motivation would be the first one. We already talked about that. And
lack of time that most of the adults are complaining about, mostly.
Yeah, I don't really agree with that. don't you think you have time? Then just create time, man. Just create time. It's not a really difficult thing to study at least like, let's say 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes before the bedtime, right? Just study for 15 to 20 minutes before you go to bed in the evening. Just do that. You don't want to learn anything new? Okay, it can happen. We always have hard times. Then just practice what you have already learned. What you know, just practice that. You know, there is a saying in English, practice makes perfect.
Perfect, exactly, definitely, very good. So what sort of material they can use, like books, apps, websites, what sort of nice and,
Meysam,
material?
The internet is an ocean. I know we are all familiar with the English books that are too expensive, you can't afford them, alright, or there are apps, there are thousands of apps which you have to pay regularly, there are subscriptions, but there are also lots of free stuff on the internet ocean. As I mentioned before, you don't know English, okay, just type in English reading exercise. That's it. How do you think we as teachers find all those materials? We didn't invite that website. We find them. You have to look for something that you will enjoy.
Exactly. Very nice, very nice. The common question is this: grammar or vocabulary? Which one is the most important one?
It kind of depends on what is your goal, what is your main goal. Do you want to speak English? Do you want to survive if you were in England, right? Do you want to just speak fluently? Then, of course, I'd say vocabulary is a little more important, because grammar, when you think of grammar, just think of perfect tenses, simple tenses, continuous tenses, perfect continuous tenses. So these are at least 12 different tenses in English, and that's not included like would, if clauses, passive voice. There are really lots of grammar in English. It's easy when you start it, but when you go deeper, it's difficult. So two or three of these tenses would be really enough to survive in the wild, definitely. But vocabulary, if you don't know how to say that you have a toothache, that you have to go to a dentist, then it's going to be problematic. You should know what dentist is.
Very good. So you are more of a, vocabulary guy.
Yeah, of course.
Excellent. So what can the students do actually for their grammar and vocabulary to improve? Again, internet again, or what else?
Well,
is there any specific, book or app that they can use?
I don't really know the apps. I mean, one of my students used the app EVA. I think it's pronounced EVA and spelled EVA. It's a paid one. It's a paid app. But as far as I know, as far as he showed to me, that app is really good.
Really good.
I mean, it looks good.
Is that for grammar, you said, or vocabulary?
It's for everything.
For everything.
It's kind of for everything. It gives you little stories. I'm not advertising them, by the way. I don't know who owns that. There are little stories, there are listenings, there are speakings. It has a microphone, it has a microphone access and it controls what you're saying. I think it's a great app, but as I said, I didn't use it. I see lots of people using Duolingo, but I think it's kind of boring because you have to start...
Repetitive.
Always repeat yourself, right? I'm not familiar with any other apps, but a great way to learning new vocabulary would be learning new words, not each day, but like every other day. So let's say you learned 10 new words on Monday. Just repeat them and use them in sentences. This part is really important. Use them in sentences.
Especially in your own sentences. Right?
By the way, these sentences really don't have to be really complex, really hard sentences. Did you learn the word earth? Just use it in a sentence like, the earth is round, the earth is big, I like the earth. Repeat it, immediately learn, don't immediately look for new words.
Yeah.
Just, try to, how can I say this? Try to perfect them first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Just try to
Otherwise,
find a way to use the vocabulary, right?
yeah, of
Exactly.
course, of course. Otherwise, you will be the typical students
Yeah.
who understands everything but can't talk because he knows all the words.
Yeah.
He memorized them all, but he didn't use them in sentences. He
Mhm.
didn't use them.
Exactly, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
So that would be a great way to improve your vocabulary. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And this is the final question. How did you personally learn English?
I personally learned English. I guess my parents were just too concerned about me learning English. They really wanted me to learn English. And this is like 20 years ago, by the way. They sent me to a private school in Istanbul, and I think this school was known for its English. So when I was 7, I had like 10 to 12 English lessons each week, of course. And yeah, it was great for me. And after 5 years, after being sure that I can already speak a little English, when I was 12, they sent me to a state school. Yeah. And in my time, the state school used to start teaching English at 6th grade.
Yeah.
So I went there as a learner,
Yeah.
which I already knew. Like for 5 years I studied, and then bam, I started everything all over, right? That was a great practice for me, man. Of course, at the beginning I was bored. I was thinking like, I already know these. Yeah, I was a child.
Yeah.
But then I realized I make mistakes, although I know them. So that was a really good practice. And after that, I was just willing to learn more. I wanted to learn more because English was fun. Even if it wasn't fun, I made it fun. Yeah?
Very good.
I learned it through my own methods, through my own text, through my own materials. Yeah.
Nice motivation, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot. And so yeah, here I am.
Very good, thank you. So do you have any further, explanation or recommendations for students?
Yeah, actually, for people, for students who want to speak better. I'm sure you already watch movies, TV shows in English, right? I'm guessing you make the subtitles already in English, so I'm not talking about them. The subtitles are in English. Okay. It's a must. Yeah. And just think of a TV show or even a movie that you watched before and you liked. Yeah. Take a character. Let's say you watched Breaking Bad and you liked it. Let's say Breaking Bad season 3, episode 4. Yeah, a random episode. Just Google it. Google the script. Who is your favorite character? Walter White. All right. Then look at the Walter White's speeches. Print them out. Go in front of a mirror and say the exact same things as he does. Yeah. Repeat his lines in his own voice, in his own pronunciation, in his own accent. Try to
role play.
Yeah, of course. This will help you really in a great way, in a great deal, before you know it. Really.
Nice.
Yeah, practicing in front of the mirror. Do that.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Very good. So thank you very much for joining us. Thank you and thanks for watching.
Thanks guys. Take care.